Through this session, I would like to introduce you to some important facts about soil pollution. Starting with soil, it consists of a mixture of minerals, organic material, living organism, air and water that together support the biotic community. The soil formation results from the mechanical weathering of rocks due to the impacts of temperature changes, abrasion, wind, water flow, glaciers, chemical weathering activities and lichens. The best suitable climate for development of the soil is warm and humid. The soil is divided into 6 zones, namely O horizon, A horizon, E horizon, B horizon, C horizon and R horizon. The O horizon is also known as surface treated zone, consisting of freshly fallen leaves and organic debris with partially decomposed organic matter. Coming to A horizon, this zone is also known as the topsoil. The topsoil comprises of partially decomposed organic matter, plant roots, living matter and some inorganic minerals. The E horizon is called the subsurface layer of soil, which is the zone of leaching of minerals. Subsoil or the B horizon is characterized by unique colors as well as accumulation of iron, aluminium and humic substances due to leaching actions from the above zone. C horizon is also known as the parent material, since it consists of partially broken down inorganic materials. Finally, R horizon is the zone of bedrocks, that is the impermeable layer. After knowing about the soil, let us come to know what are the major causes of soil degradation, since it is mainly correlated with the pollution of the soil. The first cause is soil erosion. Soil erosion is mainly the movement of O and A horizons of the soil from one place to another under the natural influence of wind and flowing water. Anthropogenic causes mainly involve farming, construction activities, overgrazing by livestock and deforestation. There are many drawbacks of soil erosions. They mainly include loss of soil fertility, water pollution and increase in the turbidity of water bodies, leading to the loss of aquatic life. This erosion can be prevented in various ways. The continuous contour trenches is helpful in reducing water runoff by infiltrating the flowing water. These are mainly built in the sloping areas as well as the areas with low to medium rainfall. Similarly, bunds constructed out of stones also conserve soil as well as fast moving water. Another cause of soil degradation includes the excess use of fertilizers. Generally, when the soil lacks certain macronutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, chemical fertilizers are used as substitute. When the same is used in higher quantity, it leads to the degradation of quality of soil. The excess fertilizers use cause stunted plant growth. Furthermore, excess nitrogen and phosphorus in the soil reaches the water bodies through the runoffs and leads to the phenomenon of eutrophication. The eutrophied water bodies are characterized by the algal bloom, leading to the lowering of the dissolved oxygen of water and further causing death of aquatic organisms. The third and major cause of soil degradation is the increased use of pesticides. There are three main reasons for the use of pesticides. The first reason is the higher yield of crop that would otherwise be destroyed by the pests. Secondly, the increased yield of crops compensates the cost borne by the farmers for the pesticide purchase. And the third reason includes the overcoming of the health problems due to mosquitoes. But along with the killing of pests, pesticides also kill non-target organisms. For example, the predators of the pests. The pesticides are infamous for their persistence. The persistent pesticide, although effective for a longer duration of time, does not degrade naturally. The pesticide DDT regained its popularity during 1942 to 1952, when it saved around 5 million lives, primarily because of its use to control disease carrying mosquitoes. The persistence of DDT is represented by the half life and is influenced by the soil type, temperature and kinds of soil organisms present. The persistence of DDT in temperate regions may be 10 to 15 years, whereas the same pesticide may persist just for 6 months in the tropical regions. The persistent pesticides become attached to soil particles which are easily moved by wind and water to different parts, thus affecting the soils elsewhere. The persistent pesticides may also accumulate in the body of animals by the phenomenon of bioaccumulation. This accumulation of pesticides keep on increasing with the increase in the trophic levels, and this phenomenon is known as biomagnification. Persistent pesticides further cause resistance among the pests, leading to further increase in the pesticide use. The use of harmful persistent pesticides can be reduced by practicing sustainable agriculture. The sustainable agriculture advocates the use of methods to produce safe food in an economically viable manner while maintaining the state of the ecosystem. Organic agriculture is the sole part of sustainable agriculture which avoids the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Crop rotation is another way to enhance soil fertility, reduce erosion and control pests. Another way to reduce the use of pesticides is by employing integrated pest management. The integrated pest management promotes the use of biopesticides that are derived from microbiological, botanical and biochemical origins. Microbial pesticides mainly include bacteria, viruses and fungi that kill the pests when engulfed by them. Biochemical pesticides mainly include the compounds that affect reproductive mechanism of the pest. The excess of salts and water are also responsible for the degradation of soil. There are certain regions where irrigation water contains large amount of salts. When such water is applied onto the soil in drier climate, the water will evaporate, leading to increase in salinity of the soil. The salinization is responsible for the degradation of soil quality as well as affects the growth of plants. The best way to control salinization is flushing off the soil with water. The greatest problem these days is dumping of solid wastes in the soil. The solid wastes mainly include paper, food, metals, glass, plastics, hospital waste, etc. The ill effects of the solid waste disposal are soil pollution, air pollution, water pollution, spread of disease causing microorganisms and vectors. The microorganisms act on the degradable solid waste to produce noxious odors. In the urban areas, the solid waste clog the drains, creating unhygienic conditions and overflow during the rainy season. The best possible solution is through integrated waste management. The integrated waste management include waste recycling, reuse of article and disposal of residues through composting and sanitary landfills. I would like to conclude this session by saying that it is our responsibility to protect the soil from getting polluted and degraded. Thank you.